Hey everybody, this is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary fantasy baseball talk for Tuesday, September 6th? Yes, September 6th. It's going to be a short video, not a whole lot to say. It is the fantasy baseball playoffs now, so if you made it that far, congratulations. It's time to go out and try to win this thing now, right? So let's listen to my advice a little bit more. I got two hitters for you. It's Tuesday night, so we missed. Unfortunately, I did not get the material out for you today, so we're not gonna be able to offer you any streaming pictures for today, and I don't have anything for you for Thursday because not a lot of games on Thursday. Half the teams don't even know who they're pitching, who's going out there to pitch yet, and all the guys that are announced are the ace caliber kind of guys who are owned in over 50% of leagues. So I don't have any recommendations for you, but for tomorrow I do have 5. But we'll get to the hitters first. 2 hitters. Elvis Andrus, a shortstop for the White Sox. I know he's been on this list before, but you're gonna have to forgive me at this point in the season. We're in the playoffs now, so I'm gonna repeat names, guys that you really should be looking to pick up to help you win your week, because it's now or never. Elvis Andrus, ever since he got out of Oakland, he was hitting okay in Oakland, but ever since he got to the White Sox, he's been outstanding. He's definitely someone to consider in your middle infield spot. And then Stone Garrett, excuse me, the rookie outfielder for the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks outfield of the future is looking great with Corbin Carroll, Stone Garrett, and then they have Drew Jones, the guy they just drafted. I know he's out for the season, so that's kind of a setback, but he's not going to be in the minors for very long. He's going to be on the fast track. The Diamondbacks are going to have an outstanding outfield in a couple of years if they can keep all these guys in town, which, I know Arizona is kind of a small market team, but Phoenix is a great city. It's not my favorite city, but it's definitely not my least favorite city either. So there's lots to do in Phoenix. Things I do like about Phoenix, the weather's nice year round. Everybody knows that. But I do like that it's just freeways everywhere. And I love freeways because it's the only place I feel like I can truly drive. And so I love freeways. I know that some people who live there probably hate that you have to take a freeway to go anywhere in that town. But I love it because freeways are the best place to drive. It's one of my happy places, the freeway. So it's nice to drive around Phoenix because it's freeways, and then it's big, really big city, a very expansive city. It's like LA, urban sprawl, and it's pretty in a way that's like totally different than what I'm used to here in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of people might say it's ugly, but there's parts of Phoenix that are not quality places, but there's some parts of Phoenix that are really nice, really pretty. And so, a lot of people like Phoenix. Baseball players love Arizona. That's where they have spring training. Florida and Arizona where they have spring training. And then, Texas or Georgia. They love the South. Baseball players love the South. They love warm weather because they only play in warm weather. A lot of baseball players live in Arizona in the off season anyway, so it shouldn't be a hard place to keep players, is what I'm saying. And it shouldn't be a small market because it's one of the 5 largest cities in the U.S. and it's only getting bigger, which is kind of a problem because they're running out of water, which is a huge problem. They're gonna have to find a way to get some water to the Southwest because Vegas is growing, Phoenix is growing, and the water supply is shrinking massively. So it's kind of a concern. It's someone who wants to move there that's a concern, but I'm sure someone's gonna figure something out because they're not just gonna let people go without water. So I think it's a concern. It's one of the major agendas for the Pete Buttigieg. What's his job title? I don't know why he gave up the presidency to be this thing that he is, Secretary of the Interior or something, or whatever it is. He's working on figuring out how to get water to the Southwest. I think he's going to figure it out. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. I hope he runs for president again. I like him, Mayor Pete. He's young. He's from my generation. He's a millennial, so I kind of relate to him, even if he is obviously, he's a politician. All politicians are full of shit and out of touch. But he's. I shouldn't say all of them. I think a lot of the people who this younger wave of politicians, I'm not trying to make a political statement here. This is just maybe I'm biased because it's the way I believe politically, but I'm not trying to make a political statement. So please forgive me if I'm on a soapbox here. But I think the younger generation of Democrats, the people who've been inspired by Bernie Sanders and the progressive socialist movement, I think that they are in touch with the common person of this generation, and so I think they're not in touch. But I think Mayor Pete's a little bit more mainstream, a little bit more corporate. He's his pockets are lined with bribes. He's a career politician, and he is a guy that he gave up the presidency because I'm sure he's bribed by somebody in Biden's camp or the Democratic Party to step away so that Joe and Kamala could have the nomination. Blah blah blah, whatever. That's just me spouting conspiracy theories. But I hope he runs again. I do like him. He's a little bit mainstream, but that's probably good because a lot of people, a lot of older Democrats are not going to vote for the young progressives. They're going to vote for the status quo, which that's why Biden's in the presidency. But it would be nice to see someone young, someone who's not geriatric in the presidency like Obama was. No matter how you feel about Obama as a politician, he was youngish, and I want to see people, not necessarily my age. I'm a little too young. I think you have to be 35 to even run. But someone like in their 40s, people who haven't been politicians their entire lives and haven't been completely and utterly bought off and have no soul anymore, but old enough to have some life experience and some wisdom, and but young enough to still have the energy and enthusiasm to change things. So that's what I want. I think there should be there's an age limit there's a youth age limit. I think there needs to be an age limit like old age limit. I think you got to be like under, I don't know, 65 or something. I mean, I know that's ageism, but I don't think politicians should not have a career in politics anyways. So I think that they need to have term limits, all that stuff. There needs to be an age limit, all that stuff. But let's move on to the baseball. This video ended up being longer than I thought. I have a football one I'm going to do later. I don't know if I'm going to upload it today or not. Now that my main drafts are over, now that I'm kind of done drafting, I'm going to do one more football draft. I know I said I was done. One more football video. I know I said I was done with the football videos, but I'm not. I'm going to do one more. I did it last year. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it actually turned out to be pretty good video, so I'm going to do it again. The perfect draft. This 2022 perfect draft. I'm going to do that tonight or sometime tomorrow. I know it doesn't matter now. Most people are already drafting, right? Labor Day weekend's over. But there's still something to watch to possibly entertain you. Okay, let's get to the fantasy shit. All right, baseball. Five streamers for you for Wednesday. Louis Varland is a rookie who's getting called up by the Twins to pitch in a doubleheader against the Yankees tomorrow. If he's a promising pitcher, and the Yankees are struggling, so if Louis Varland can handle the jitters of making his first career start in Yankee Stadium, I think he's gonna have a decent day. And Domingo Germán, the guy facing on the opposite side in that game, Domingo Germán will be pitching in the first game of the Yankees doubleheader against the Twins. Domingo Germán also a good streamer. So both pitchers in that matchup, a good streamer for tomorrow. And then Alex Cobb, I know he's got a very tough matchup in Dodger Stadium against the Dodgers, obviously, against Clayton Kershaw, one of the greatest pitchers, perhaps of all time, but definitely one of the greatest pitchers of this generation. He's got a tough matchup, but Alex Cobb just racks up strikeouts. Somehow, he's not known as a strikeout guy, but he just keeps racking them up. He just keeps piling them up. So I like him as a streamer just because of the strikeouts. And then Jeffrey Springs versus the Red Sox. I know it's in Tampa. If it was in Boston, I may not push him as a streamer, but in Tampa, I think it's a decent matchup. And then Bailey Falter, don't look now. Bailey Falter is pitching really, really well for the Phillies. I know he's someone nobody's really ever heard of, unless you're a Phillies fan or one of those baseball nerds who tracks the rookies and the prospects on a daily basis, like me. But he's pitching really well for the Phillies, and he'll be facing the Marlins not in Miami. It's in Philly. Miami would be a better matchup, but Philly's fine. Bailey Falter's been pitching too well to not trust him against a bad team like the Marlins. All right, that's it. Like I said, not a lot of information out there. I will probably have another baseball video Thursday night, I guess. Thursday night or Friday, sometime before the weekend. Like it was during the football off season. Monday, Thursday. I know that I'm off schedule today, but I'm gonna try to get back on schedule later in the week because, like I said, my football stuff is done. I can move on and get back to finishing out baseball season and prepare for week 1 of the football season. I'm not going to do any spikes in the ice for football in week 1 because week 1, my recommendation is to just start the guys that you drafted to start, right? Like, so if you drafted 2 quarterbacks, you drafted a quarterback, you drafted Justin Herbert, and then you drafted Derek Carr, you're going to start Justin Herbert, right? And then running backs, if you drafted Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette, and then you also have like A.J. Dillon and Damian Harris, you're going to start Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette, right? It's common sense. It's not always right. It's not always accurate. But that's just the best advice. You don't want to outthink yourself in week 1. Just play your studs and see how it rolls, and then adjust for week 2, right? There's no reason to be playing like your wide receiver 5 that you drafted in the 12th round as your wide receiver 2 when you have a wide receiver 2 that you drafted in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. That you start that guy, unless it's someone like Jalen Waddle, Chris Godwin, guys who are questionable, guys who may not play week 1. That's a totally different scenario. But if you drafted a Terry McLaurin and you're sitting him for Jacoby Myers, that's just dumb. Why do that? Why are you doing that in week 1? Maybe do that in week 2 when you see the matchups or how they did in week 1. But in week 1, just start Terry McLaurin. Like, I mean, I know it's aggravating when you lose. You put your best lineup out there and you lose, but like that's what you drafted them for. Start them week 1. So start them week 1. All right. Peace, love, and nacho fries. I don't know if I'm going to do any more Ubering today. It's kind of been a slow day. It's been a crappy. I mean, lunch was okay, but no. Lunch was not okay. Lunch sucked. Dinner was fine. I went out 4:30 to 6:30 before I had my last draft today. Dinner was great. Lunch was terrible. I made like $15 in an hour and a half. It was garbage. That was terrible. I intended to stay out a little longer, but it was just so dead that I just said, screw it. I'm going to go home. I'm not going to waste my gas. I'm not going to waste my time. That's the glory of being an Uber Eats driver, is I don't have to work if I don't want to. And so it's so good for the head, so good for the mind. I'm much happier person these days. And I don't know what took me so long, but I think the fact that I couldn't drive for a while, had a dirty driving record is probably what took me so long. But I've had a clean driving record for over a year now, and I only just started doing Uber, just started driving. So yeah, I don't know what took me so long, but I'm glad. I'm glad that my record is clean enough that I can do that. I wish, I could go back in time and keep a clean record, so I could have done this a lot sooner. Oh well. Life is an experience to be endured, not necessarily always to be enjoyed or to make the right decisions, right? So, again, I'm done. Peace, love, and nacho fries. Good luck to you in your fantasy drafts, and your fantasy leagues, your fantasy seasons. Unless you're playing me, and then I hope you lose. And then, if we're in the same league together and you watch these videos, I hope it's me and you in the championship. And then baseball, good luck in your playoff matchups. If you didn't make it, maybe you should take more of my advice next year. All right. Good night.